Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is all right. All right. It's 12:31. I'll give one more minute, see if somebody else comes through. If not, then I'll go ahead and get started. All right. So let's go ahead and get rolling. So welcome to Pre-Calc 1. It's Math 161. And the way this course is set up, of course, it's an online course. It's not set up in such a way that we will be meeting regularly throughout the semester. But let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and get into the emails and stuff that we'll talk about that when we get there. But so when you go into Canvas, you should be able to see your shell. And the only reason and the only things that we will use Canvas for is for our announcements and to archive any class emails. All right. So you'll see all the emails that I've sent to, oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. All the emails that I've sent to the class up to this point. So here, the first one was just letting um, what the class actual start date was. This one started 7 weeks or 8 weeks, later. It's only a 7-week class. All right. And then here's letting you know what type of class that we have. So when it came to these emails, I emailed them to the whole class and I put them in Canvas announcements. So you may have seen them twice, hitting your email. But that's what I do for all of classes that, um, not classes, but all class emails. Hold on, people keep coming in. But for all my class emails, I do that. I email them to you as a class, and then also I put them in your Canvas announcements. So this is an online, um, asynchronous class, right? Online asynchronous. So in other words, there's no meeting times, there's no date times in which we meet regularly. I've given you all of your content and access to all of your assignments. The only things you don't have access to is your final exam. Normally, if it was 16 week, it would be a midterm and a final exam. But since it's only 7 weeks, you only have your final exam that you don't have access to, and that will be given to you when we get closer to our last couple of days of class. You'll have access to your final exam, and that's something that has to be proctored. And so we'll do that online through Zoom. You'll get information on all that as we get closer to it, maybe 2, 3 weeks out. You'll get an email from me telling you how we're going to handle the final exam. You don't have to come in person or anything like that. I will administer it, and we're going to do it through Zoom. Um, but that's the only thing that really has to be proctored. I have to see you doing it. All right, so let's go back to our announcements. Required materials for the course. You have to get access to MATLAB, and I see that some of you have already gotten in there and done work and everything, so that's good. Um, you don't have to purchase a hard copy of the textbooks, but you do need to purchase access to the MATLAB. Within MATLAB, there is the e-text. So the actual book is just electronic. Also, you do have access to the textbook when you purchase your access to MATLAB. Now, there's 3 ways that you can do this. Either you can purchase access through some outside means, whether it be TCC's bookstore or Barnes and Nobles or Amazon, wherever you get it from, you can do that. That's considered an outside source in comparison to MATLAB. If you do that, you'll get a 16-digit code, and then after you go through the steps of creating your access or your account, they'll ask you for that 16-digit code. So when you go to create your account, and we're going to walk through it a little bit, in a few minutes. You go to MATLAB, you go to register now. They're going to ask you for the course ID. You got the course ID from me, and that's it right there, Tucker 29686. Type that in, and then they'll give you access to the shell, or it'll show you the shell, and then from there, to ask you for the 16-digit access code if you have that. If you don't have that, you can actually purchase access through the website, through Pearson itself. It is a little cheaper if you go through Pearson itself. That's how it's been in the past anyway. But if you're not ready to purchase anything at this moment, but you want to go ahead and get started, you can use the 14-day free pass. It should be a little link at the bottom of the screen in which you can have create your account. And then, like I said, 14 days with full access. After the 14 days are up, it will lock you out and it'll just hold on to your stuff until you purchase, full access. You won't have access to your grades or anything like that, but I will still see it. You don't lose any progress. It's just that once you log out, then it'll let you write in for where you left off. Left you right in where you left off. All right. So the way we'll use MathLab is in the email that I labeled MathLab specifics. So just labeling out or listing out the different ways we will be using MathLab. The first statement, just want to make sure we see that MathLab does not work well with Safari. So if you are using Safari as your internet browser, will be in your best interest that you do not, because sometimes you will not know what you're not seeing because it does not interface well with Safari. Sometimes leave off certain pages. Sometimes you'll actually see that something was left out and stuff like that. But yeah, it's better to use Chrome or Firefox. Chrome always works for me, so that's the one I use. And both of them are free, so you can download them. All right. So, getting to the specifics, you cannot pass the course without access to MathLab. So that's where all of your assignments, all of your tests, your final exam, when we do it, everything you do will be done through MathLab. All right. Or to say that part, all your tests will be generated. You must participate and show activity in MathLab weekly. You don't have to get in there every single day, but you do want to get in there at least once a week to show, attendance and everything like that. So that is how we'll be confirming and solidifying your attendance and your activity. If you're having issues with anything, whether it comes to MathLab or just getting your work done, please let me know so we can operate and, accommodate accordingly. When it comes to homework, you have unlimited amount of attempts to get the best grade possible on your homework assignments. That's just your homework. So when it comes to your homework, this is how I'll be looking at your homework with unlimited amount of attempts. 75 to 84.9, I will boost that up to 90%. 85 to 100 will be 100%. So if you want full credit for your homework for 100%, then you want to at least shoot for 85. But 75 is still an A as well. But notice I didn't mention anything less than 75 because with 100, not 100, but an unlimited amount of attempts, we believe you can at least get a 75, right? So even if you go clicking on stuff until you get the same problem that you just got and all the stuff, even if you want to play that game, you can still get at least a 75. And of course, you don't want to do that because those homeworks prep you for your tests. But I'm just saying we're at least looking for a 75 on your homework. Now, your test reviews, they're set up like your homeworks, but they're not mandatory. But if you score 85 or better on them, I will add 5 points to that respective test. Once again, they are not mandatory. You do not have to do them at all. If you go into a test review, take a look at it, do a couple problems. Let's say you only scored 20% on it, and then you come out of it because you don't want to do it. I will not hold a 20% against you. I'm only looking at your test reviews and looking to see if you got an 85 or better, and then I will add 5 points to that respective test. All right. You will have 2 attempts to get the best grade possible on your tests. All right, so that's your test. That's one of the main difference between your test and your homework. Your homework, you get unlimited amount of tries. Your test, you get 2 attempts. Now, let's say something crazy happened. The cat walked across your keyboard and hit submit or something like that. I can give you another attempt. It's not that big a deal. I'm just saying you get 2 without having to ask me. All right. And then you must email me a copy of your scratch work for your test submissions, not homework, not everything else, but just for your test submissions. You have 4 tests. So for your test submissions, I should see some type of scratch work. All right, and you can take a picture with your phone. You can save it digitally. If you write on a tablet, whatever way you do it, take a picture of the tablet. Whatever way you do it, just make sure you send that to me. So before we go any further, questions on anything I've said up to this point? We covered all the emails I sent you up to MathLab specifics. Everybody good in the street? All right. Next email I sent was previously recorded lectures. So these are all of my lectures from beginning to end, as if you were in the class. So if you came to my class, let's say you took it with me in person, it would be me talking about these same notes, same screen, all of that. So yeah. You got them to use them at your disposal when it comes to your lectures. Here you have the option hours, office hours. And if you can't make those, but you still need help, you can shoot me an email and we can set up a time that matches both of our schedules. And then of course you saw the email for the optional class intro meeting. All right. So before I go to the next page, go into Math Lab. Any questions? Everybody good?
I joined a little late. I was able to complete everything, but I noticed that I couldn't get into the final exam.
Mhm. Yes. And so yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Final exam has to be proctored.
Okay.
Yeah. So now if you want to take it early and everything like that, just shoot me an email. We could talk about that. Mhm.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. All right. Anything else, anybody else before we move to the next page? Make sure we're good. All right. So let's look at Math Lab real quick. Make sure we sit on the same page. All right. So going to Math Lab, you would have to register if you haven't registered already. Let's see. Did it put me on the wrong page? There we go. So you will go to register and need student access and ready to register. And then we type in that, access code that I gave you, not course ID, excuse me, that I gave you. Wow, I messed up my whole name. And it was 29 something. Anyway, put that in there, click it to register, and then it'll ask you for your personal information and go from there. But let's go in here. Make sure you don't have any questions with the setup or I'll let you guys go. So you go into your shell and access to your syllabus is right here. Remember, I mentioned that I didn't use Canvas for anything but to archive emails. I wanted to point everything to MathLab. I wanted you guys to go to MathLab and not have to look for anything else or any other place and, having different places that you have to go. So you see your syllabus is right here. So if you have any questions about it or, have questions about class happenings or whatever, all your stuff is in here, your syllabus. And that's one thing. So, remember I mentioned Safari. Safari, a lot of times only gives you the first page when you have documents in here. So that's one thing I know Safari comes up short in. All right. Clicking here, you get your assignments. And here go all your assignments from beginning to end. So like your classmate just mentioned, you have access to everything except your final exam. Your final exam has to be proctored. And so, and like I mentioned to your classmate, if you do want to take it early, then of course get with me and we'll see if we can map out something in both of our schedules. And last due date, I believe that's the last due according to SIS 5/2. Yeah, I believe so. And I believe it's a Monday. So you have all of this time to get everything done. So I didn't put any specific due dates because it's a 7-week course. And y'all already know you got to hit the ground running. So I didn't think it was necessary to put any due dates right there. You got to get on your grind and make this thing happen and knock out stuff as soon as possible. Because like I said, you only have 7 weeks. All right. So that's why you just have everything just open. And you see you have 4 tests along with your homeworks. And then you see your test reviews are in front of each test. And then your final exam. And that's your final exam review. That'll set you up for your final exam. So whether you do test reviews or not, once again, they're not held against you, but you should at least take a look at them to see what type of problems you will be, exposed to when you actually hit the test. But if you don't care, then you want to ride with it, that's fine. You don't have to. It's all good. But they're there for you to do whatever you like to do with it. And also see how it says 2 attempts for your test. All right, let's see anything else over here. Got assignments. E-text is right here. So if you want to go into the book, you have that at your disposal, different chapters and stuff. Um, let's go back to assignments. All right, so if you have a problem, I just want to show you how this works. Let's say if I just choose this one, check the answer. It's incorrect, and they try to give you a hint on how to do it. They'll go again, try to give you a hint, and notice now it says final check. So for most problems, you will have 3 attempts to get the answer correct. If you get it right, then you'll get a green check by the answer. If you get it wrong, I just wanted to guess, see what happens. Okay. So you get a red X. So you can hit similar question right here or just go out of it. So if you don't hit similar question at the moment, you can always hit it down here, which will reset the question. And it'll give you very similar question, which is just different numbers. So the process will still be the same, just the numbers are different. And notice you have a red X right here. If you hit the listing, notice a red X right here. If you get it right now, it would turn it into a green check. And then everything will be green check, and then you'll get full credit for it. Help me solve this is right here. Most people don't hit that because what that would do is walk you through the actual problem, and it would automatically mark it wrong and then change the answer, change the problem. So you see how I did it right here. Most people hit view an example where it opens up a window where you can walk through the problem, through a different problem, and then close it out and then try the problem right there. It also gives you the opportunity to print it if you want to. So a lot of people like to print. Here you get more help. Depends on the complexity of the problem. There may be more options here. The video is just a video of another person, like from Pearson, a Pearson instructor talking about it. Animation, just another type of way of giving you a video on how to do this problem with animation. Textbook, it takes you to the place in the textbook where this problem is discussed. And then as my instructor, it sends me an email that you have a problem with this problem. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Questions on anything so far? Any questions? Everybody good? Everybody straight? Like I mentioned, when it comes to due dates, it's only one, as I said, at the end of the semester. Your final exam will be the week before this. So, because that's a Monday. Yeah, May 2nd, they had to have come from SIS. I would have made it a due date on a Monday. But so the week before that will be your final exam week. So you're talking about, hold on. Make sure I get it right. No, I was looking at the wrong date. May 2nd is a Friday. Okay, good. So that week of is your, because sometimes due dates do be on a Monday with SIS, but your due date is May 2nd, which is a Friday. So that week, so you're talking about April 28th to May 2nd will be your final exam week. Once again, when we get closer to it, maybe 2-3 weeks out, I will send you instructions on how we're going to do our final exam through Zoom, and then how we are going to, your final exam options, whatever. I'll give you like 4 or 5 options to choose from, and you will take your final exam on, on the day that you choose. All right. So that's pretty much it. Questions, concerns, comments before we close out today. I will be sending you a copy of this meeting as well, just in case you want to review anything, and of course, for those who didn't make it here live. All right. Everybody good? Everybody straight? All right. So that's good. I'm glad everybody's great. If you have any questions, make sure you email me, let me know. And like I said, the office hours are open as well for you to take advantage of those. And I'll see you guys around. All right, y'all take care.